In the winter of 1924, on the 30th of October, Reverend K. Amos Andrea and Rahel Amma gave birth to their firstborn child, a daughter in Suryapet. She was named Hemalata. Hemalata completed her schooling from Preston Institute in Jangaon, and right from her formative years, she adopted a life of discipline and of Christian values due to her hostel life. Hemalata's father worked at the American Baptist Missions as a pastor and was friend with a certain Dr. M.R. Philip. Both were heavily involved with the missions work there and decided to get their children married. So on the 15th of December 1943, Hemalata was married to Mr. M.P. Alfred at the Centenary Baptist Church in Suryapet. After a few years, Mr. Alfred and Mrs. Hemalata moved to Secunderabad, where Mr. Alfred was appointed as a PTI teacher at the SPG school, which was associated with the Church of England. In 1945, Samuel was born. He was their firstborn. Soon after, in 1948, Ruth, their first daughter, was born. They were both born at Suryapet. Along with two children, they both moved in 1948 as Mr. Alfred was appointed as a PTI teacher at the school associated with the Osman Shahi Mills in Nanded. Mrs. Hemalata joined later in the same school as a teacher for the Telugu medium section. In 1951, they gave birth to their third child, Paul. Along with school, Mrs. Hemalata was involved with the Methodist Church in Nanded, where she taught at the Sunday school.
मेरे मदर एक अच्छी संडे स्कूल टीचर थी। उन्होंने घर का काम भी करते थे और उसी प्रकार चर्च के एक्टिविटीज़ में भी उन्होंने एक्टिव पार्ट लेते थे। तो 8:30 बजे से 12 बजे तक वो चर्च में रहती थी। उसी तरह WSS के एक्टिव मेंबर थी उन्होंने। हमारे मदर का वॉइस बहुत अच्छा था। तो उन्होंने हमारे कॉन्ग्रेगेशन में ऐसा रहता था, उसमें 7-8 लैंग्वेज के लोग रहते थे। तो वो जो गाना सेलेक्ट करे, वो गाना चर्च में लीड करने का हमारे मदर को श्रेय जाता। उन्होंने लीड करती थी, उसके बाद में सब कॉन्ग्रेगेशन उनके साथ में गाना गाते थे। वैसा बहुत एक्टिव मेंबर थी। मैं हर चर्च को हर संडे किधर भी रहो चर्च अटेंड करता हूँ। और ये सब हम हमारे मदर के वजह से सीखे हम, क्यों तो उन्हें उतना बिजी रहने के बाद में भी चर्च को टाइम देते थे।
In 1954, they welcomed their fourth child, Daniel. Despite church, school, and 4 children, she never shirked away from her family duties. In addition to taking care of her 4 children, she also cared for her relatives. A small but significant memory is of her providing lunch boxes frequently to Mr. Munnangi Sundar Rao, who was the cousin of Mr. Alfred. Mr. Sundar Rao was so touched by her genuine care that he decided to name his daughter after her. Adding to this, she used to make Christmas snacks for the people of different castes and religions within the locality of the mills. This instinct to serve showed her qualities as a loving and caring mother.
As a mother, I see her in 2 very distinct and pertinent roles played in the lives of children. One, as mother, as teacher, and second, mother as mother. Mother as a teacher. She taught us and gave us the secular education, and those teachings were very much imbibed in our minds and in our hearts. Secondly, she was mother as mother. And as we all experience mother as loving, affectionate and caring, she was also extremely caring, so many children, and yet she had time for every one of us, taking care of us, our needs, and showing her extreme love and affection towards us. And at home, not only we had this primary uh, teaching and learning, but we could get hen-like protective and covering love. I would give credit to my mother as a mother because she gave us, passed on the faith in Jesus Christ, which she inherited from her parents, and she passed on to us, and from me, my children and grandchildren. What a legacy this mother has passed on to us in the form of faith in Jesus Christ.
In 1957, Thomas, their fifth child, was born, and in 1959, their youngest son, Arnold, came into the world. They both were born at Nanded. She was lovingly called teacher by everyone around town. This was only because of her passion and reputation as a good teacher at school.
और मम्मी वॉज ए वेरी गुड टीचर. हमको स्कूल में गए, मम्मी मम्मी नहीं थी, वो पंतुलम्मा, सब लोग पंतुलम्मा बुलाते थे उसको. तो अभी हम वहाँ बोल नहीं सकते थे कि हमें पंतुलम्मा है. हम अम्मा अम्मा च रहता था, दिन भर बोलते थे, लेकिन हमको लगता है चलो पंतुलम्मा तो बोलना ही पड़ेगा आदमी को. तो पंतुलम्मा वॉज टीचर ऑफ आई थिंक बिशप डैनियल ऑल्सो and Paul Anna also. She was a very good teacher. As far as myself is concerned, నాకు ఎప్పుడు కొట్టలేదు ఆమె. వీళ్ళకి కొట్టిండొచ్చు కానీ నాకు ఎప్పుడు కొట్టలేదు, తిట్టలేదు కూడా. ఎందుకంటే మా ఇంట్లో నేను అందరికన్నా చిన్నోన్ని, చాలా లాడుతూ నాకు పెంచిండు. మా అమ్మగారు కూడా చాలా మంచిగా నాకు మర్యాదలు నేర్పించింది. ఆ మర్యాదతోని స్కూల్ టీచింగ్తోని మాకు ఎంత మంచి పేరు పొందుకున్నాం మేము. ఆ మర్యాద, ఆ రెస్పెక్ట్ ఉన్నది మాకు. ఇంకా ఆ రెస్పెక్ట్ నేర్పించింది మా అమ్మ. చాలా మంచి పంతులమ్మ ఉండే ఆమె. ఇంకా అందరు ఎంతో 1000 మంది స్టూడెంట్స్లో 1000 మంది స్టూడెంట్స్ ఆమె అండర్ నుంచి పోయినారు. సెకండ్, ఎందుకంటే బేస్మెంటే చాలా ఇంపార్టెంట్ ఉంటుంది. ఆ బేస్మెంట్లో మాకు చాలా మంచిగా చాలా చాలా మంచిగా ఆమె నేర్పించింది. ఈ కొన్ని మాటలతో నాకు జర మమ్మీ చాలా జ్ఞాపకం వస్తుంది. ఇంకా షీ వాజ్ అ వెరీ గుడ్ టీచర్ టు ఆల్ ఆఫ్ us.
Even though Mrs. Hemalata had different roles to play, she took on each role with love and care. Her relationship with God was a close one. So much so that in her final moments, she, in a semi-conscious state, agreed to participate in communion, and almost immediately after half an hour, she was called for higher services on the 11th of February 1994. Thanks to her exemplary life, all her children walked very close to the Lord and have instilled the same Christian values in their children. Through this, Mrs. Hemalata's legacy lives on.